Guys, Ryan Williams here with the Ken 7 podcast. Great 3-1 win for Liverpool against Norwich. We've got Paul Dalglish with us today. Paul, what's your immediate reaction from the game?
It was good. You sometimes get a little bit nervous, Ryan, after a European game with the travel. Normally it can be a little bit flat, but I thought, first half, thought we played well. We had a ridiculous amount of shots. Missed some really good chances, balls going in the box, and to be fair, Norwich looked a little bit dangerous in transition, catching us in transition. But overall, mate, a really professional job. I think when we went 1-0 down, we just showed that we've got 2 or 3 more gears that we can go to if we need to. And it was brilliant, wasn't it? After we went 1-0 down, it was just brilliant. It was like only a matter of how many we were going to score.
Absolutely. I mean, I was looking at the first half there, and I think for any team, it doesn't matter how good you are. If the opposition just puts 10 men in front of the goal, it's always going to be difficult to break them down. I think, a lot of the games that I've seen this season, the games, especially at Anfield, are following a similar format. Teams will just camp in, difficult. But once we get that first goal, then the floodgates tend to open, more space. But like you were saying, they were dangerous in the first half on the break. I thought, like you said, once we went up a few gears in the second half after we conceded, I thought we looked superb. I mean, I thought the introduction of Thiago was massive for us. I think he's such a facilitator in the middle of the park. He's so clever, controls the game. I thought he was exceptional. What did you think of his performance?
He's honestly, he's just class, and he's different. He's just different, mate. He's at the beginning, I was so excited when we signed him, and I've spoke about it before when people were saying, well, he needs to adapt to the Premier League. And for me, it was the other way around. The Liverpool team needed to react to him to understand how good he was. And, when you've got a player that's got that amount of tricks in the bag, that amount of tools in his locker, you can make different runs than you've ever had to make before because he can find you. And I just think he's a just true world-class player for me.
I think we're very lucky to have him in the team. You don't win that many trophies throughout your career unless you are absolute quality. I think it goes without saying, his technical ability, his vision, his composure is on another level. But I think something that doesn't really get as much notice or appreciated as much is his work rate and his defensive contribution. The passing lines that he cuts out, the balls that he nicks, his positioning, I think it's incredible. And when you put him and Henderson together in midfield, I think it's a lovely combination.
Well, Hendo needs credit for the pass for Diaz. It was what an unbelievable pass that was. He doesn't get enough credit for that either. His ability to play passes, and you're right, because Thiago's small. Probably something you suffered with a little bit yourself, Ryan, that people don't think you're going to do the defensive work and then end up putting you in different areas. But he does it all. He's not the biggest, but he does it all. The amount, and he's brilliant at, Ryan, like the little professional fouls. He's clever. That's like stop and play, stop and transition, just brilliant.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, something you always used to say to me when I played for you: what comes before the pass? The run. I thought the run by Diaz, was exceptional. Yeah. He constantly threatens him behind, and I think in the first half there was a couple of times he gave possession away, but he showed his mentality and resilience there. He didn't stop, didn't give up, kept trying to do what he's good at, and something that I hadn't seen much of him play, to be honest with you, until he signed for us. But something that really impressed me again is his work rate off the ball. Yeah. He's always fighting to get it back, and I think he's going to be a great addition for us.
Yeah, it's great finish as well, wasn't it? A little bit of quality with the dink. Composure. You think about it, Cop End, not scored a goal yet for Liverpool. And to show that composure, I think the future's bright. I tell you what was good, though. It was a little bit of you don't know whether it was tactics or whether it was just to get people minutes, but it was interesting to see us change a little bit on the attacking side today with Joe Gomez coming in, and we attacked in a 3-5-2 a lot today. Yeah. And then Salah went a little bit wider on the right. He tortured him, didn't he?
He did. You could see that first half that Williams, the left back, was struggling with him, really struggling. But no, that was interesting. It was funny. I noticed that myself because when I seen some of the positioning, it looked like Joe Gomez was in like a sort of a right centre back position of a 3, and then obviously Tsimikas was going high, and I was like, is that I was curious. Was that like a player, a player profile thing, or was that a tactical decision from Klopp? What do you think?
I think it was trying to get everybody minutes. There was 7 changes, Ryan. So I think that it was okay. How do we defend one way? Because Liverpool are consistent in the way they defend, but there's so many different tactical tweaks that they do in possession. And I think sometimes it's dependent on who's available, but sometimes it's tactics as well. Because they only played with one up front, so it didn't really make too much sense tactically to have a third man in the first line of the build-up to build your attacks. It would make more sense to just have 2 and then have an extra player higher. But it was player personnel based, I presume, where Gomez is really a centre-back, isn't he, that can play right back.
Absolutely,
the fact that he could go there. Even this year, Salah seems to be favouring playing wider. And now Trent's been going inside like Man City. Whereas on the other side, Mane's been playing more inside and Robertson's been wider. So
something I've noticed what you just said there was, Trent's been picking up like that number 8 position at times coming in field during the season. But I've also noticed, well, not today where he was more central, but when Fabinho's been playing, Henderson's been pulling out to the right as well, and he's been getting in some really good positions. So it's been interesting to me. Sort of, I think Klopp just wants his players. He wants players in. As long as there's a player in the 8 role, there's one in the the wide forward role. He's quite flexible with where he goes. It's interesting to see that sort of evolution.
That's it. And Oxlade-Chamberlain did it today. He'd go wide. I think he always wants width, but he doesn't care who it gets to. Now, normally it's a fullback or it's a winger. But if the winger makes a run inside, which Salah likes to do, and then the fullback's inside as well, then it can only be the midfield player that can get out there. So I think the awareness that the players have to be able to read where each other is and then fill in the gaps it just takes, you look at it and you go, okay, you sometimes think it looks really natural, but you forget that we're, how many years into Jurgen's reign now, and it's got better.
6 or 7. Yeah. I was going to say that to you then, we are 6 or 7 years into seeing sort of what Klopp's built, and these things don't just happen in a matter of weeks. It takes time. Not only has he developed the system and the evolution of that, but he's had time to work with the players, know the personalities, constantly just improve them all the time, all the time, every year, better. And I think we're now really seeing a culmination of all them years of work. It's interesting to me because especially in the modern game, you see so many managers get hired and fired, and for me this brings sort of it shows that the mentality of owners has to be now to give managers a bit more time, let them really build something.
Well, if they're on the right track, you know what I mean.
Absolutely,
there's no point flogging a dead horse, but
no, of course,
there's no manager more perfect for Liverpool. Even last year when we had a bit of a wobble, when we had the injuries to the defenders, there was never any question of, is this the right guy? I mean, I'm terrified, to be honest, Ryan, the day that he decides that he doesn't want to manage Liverpool anymore. And I think that day will come. I think he'll probably finish his career as the German national team. So it's about, but I think it's really, really incredible and just a privilege to have him in charge.
Absolutely.
And football's
you seen as soon as he comes to the club, though, he was infectious, wasn't he? He resonated with the fans straight away. His mentality, his work ethic. He was off to a great start. But sometimes it's because the progression is 1% better every day, all the time with him. It's interesting to sort of take a step back and look at the team when he first arrived. If you compare the first 11 that he put out on his first game and look at the team now, it's like night and day. It's incredible what he's built.
Who's left?
Henderson's left, Milner's left. They're still here. But if you look at the lads who
Firmino was here as well, wasn't he? I think
Firmino was, but remember we had like Lovren and Sacco at the back.
Yeah.
Who else did we have in the team? Lallana was about then. I think Origi was there.
What's that?
Origi was there.
Yeah, maybe.
Because he come 2014 after the World Cup.
Yeah.
He's been here quite a while.
Yeah, but it's just there's not too much more you can say about the main man, can you? So
no.
So what do you think of the goals? Do you want to go through the goals?
Yeah. So for me, I mean, the pick of the bunch, obviously, for me, it's got to be the final goal, Luis Diaz. You know, I thought the ball was exquisite. Like, I thought it was absolutely phenomenal. Obviously, you had Mane's acrobatics, which was pretty special. But for me, as a football purist, I've got to go for that ball from Henderson, the run. I just loved it. Like,
yeah, me too. I love that. As I said, the movement comes before the pass, and the pass was, but the pass from Alisson, right? Mate, he's done it so many times. How did he not?
I know, true.
So, did you see when they showed the view of it zoomed out and Salah's made the run?
I didn't see that. No, I didn't see the. So if he's meant that pass, then that's incredible. Like,
and then the touch,
frightening.
And then I was honestly, I went for a pie as well when Salah went to hit his leg. I thought I was diving to save that one, and then it went back, and I was like, oh my god,
to me, it's a tough one though, because we were blessed with 3 quality goals today, weren't we?
Well, Henderson played the pass for Tomiskas as well, didn't he? To head it back down, didn't he? Did he play the diagonal? Did he play the diagonal? I think it was him that played the diagonal as well for the header down. And do you know what though, Ryan? Do you know what's funny? So when you could see Thiago when he came on, he's gone 4-4-2, 4-4-2, right? And what that did was, even though Origi maybe wasn't getting on the end of things in the box, he was attracting the attention. So if you look at the goal, when we were getting more numbers in the box, the diagonal ball goes in. I've got no idea where Aarons was going, the right back, because Mane is stood in the middle of the 6-yard box by himself, and Aarons goes and drifts out to try and mark him, and they can't score. So he stood in the middle of the goal and he's gone, and I was like, oh my god, why hasn't he just gone? And I'm glad he never. But that one, mate, that was a great,
incredible finish. There's not many players that can score a goal like that. You know. If I tried that, I'd probably pop my hip out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's incredible.
To be fair, that's because you're a little bit top heavy for the
I was waiting for that. I teed myself up there, didn't I?
Did you better scoring a header, Rhino?
Oh, I don't know. I'll probably burst the ball the size of this. I'd tell you the
truth. Brilliant.
Yeah.
It was, it was one of them. I got the little text. You had a little bit of a twitchy bum, didn't you, in the first half?
I was nervous. I was nervous. I mean, just purely because they were so deep. You know what I mean? They had 10 men behind the ball, and even when there was times with Luis Diaz, Salah, they're trying to make that little yard of space, but then they get past one, and then there'd be another yellow shirt there, and I'm thinking, are we going to get a break here? But it seems to be, like I said, it's a bit of a format this year. You know, we get that first goal in the floodgates. You know, there's so much quality in the team, so much quality.
Well, that's it. It's teams are. I mean, why wouldn't you defend and try and control the box? You know, Liverpool don't have a target striker as such, so it's what teams are saying is okay. We'll defend the box. We'll give you the wide areas, and we'll defend crosses. And to be fair, teams can do that. They can do that for an hour. They can do that for 70 minutes. But then the human beings, they tire.
Of course,
and not
just physically, mentally.
Mentally, the concentration levels drop, and then you find a little bit of gaps. And the thing is, they might not be the biggest, but Salah can finish with his head. Jota's amazing,
unbelievable in the air, isn't he?
Firmino's header the other day, brilliant. You know what I mean?
Everywhere.
And Salah's a fine space as well.
That's where it's difficult for teams as well. You know, in terms of how do you set up your team against Liverpool, because it's difficult if you start pressing Liverpool and make it a game of pressing. Well, we are exceptional at pressing, and we are phenomenal in transition. So the bigger the spaces, it's better for us, because one thing and it's something I was looking at today is, in Van Dijk and Matic, you've got 2 defenders there that are very good at defending big spaces. They're comfortable.
And Kanate and Gomez if he plays there.
Yeah.
So you can be really aggressive with it. And Van Dijk's a machine. Anytime
he's a monster.
It's just got the big laddie there out and a big cigar, and
But he doesn't look like he's getting out of first gear, does he? Even when he's under pressure, it's like you're watching like a 15-year-old kid playing in the under-12s or something.
He's brilliant. He's brilliant. He's brilliant. He just holds people up. It's a long way around, though, isn't it? It's like they just can't. but he never ever looks like he's stretched.
No.
Ever.
He's so comfortable on the ball as well, isn't he? You know, I think for me, when we brought him in and people were doubting, 70 million, it's a lot of money. It's the best money we've spent, like.
He's made a big difference. I think the Alisson one as well, though, made a huge difference, Rhino. You know, if you look at him, he's been incredible. No, even in the last few games, although they were offside, the chances that Burnley and I think Inter, he still saves them.
1-on-1, he's phenomenal, isn't he? Phenomenal.
Oh, unbelievable. Well, a good day at the office, Rhino.
Absolutely. No, happy with that 3 points.
You're going to celebrate?
Absolutely. And what are you up to now? You're up celebrating yourself?
Well, I am going to go, and probably it's only lunchtime here, right? You know, I think I'm going to go and get some scram.
Always forget you're in Miami living it up. I love it.
Yeah, it's terrible, mate. You wouldn't like it.
Well, sounds good, Paul. Thanks for coming on with Ken 7 today. Really appreciate your insight.
Top man. Thanks, Rhino.
Take care.
See you.
Bye.
Come on, Redmen.